Hi everyone, well, we've got some good news coming here, and other people have made some videos, and I thought I would just join in there. We're talking about some new product from Paul McCartney, and he's going to have a new album out. The date has been revealed. The album is coming out on September the 7th, and the album title is Egypt Station. And there's a whole bunch of buzz going on the internet about it. There have been two songs, new songs, a double A side they're calling it, from Paul McCartney. Two songs, one of them is called I Don't Know, and the other song is called Come On To Me. And I was a little hesitant to make a video at first because, quite frankly, the first time that I played the songs, they didn't really grab me. And I think I needed a couple of listens. Well, it didn't take more than 2 listens each, and by the second listen, I was in the right frame of mind and I was hooked. At first, I thought that the songs were kind of ordinary Paul songs. I still am not going to praise them as being anything great. However, they are very catchy. And that happens a lot to me with Paul McCartney songs when they're new. That's happened to me throughout the history of Paul's music. Even the best singles and best albums, stuff like Tug of War, didn't grab me with the first listen, you know? Even Chaos and Creation in the Backyard and Flaming Pie, a lot of these didn't grab me completely on first listen. I find that when I listen to Paul's albums 2-3 times, I start getting very infectious earworms, you know, melodies that stick in there and interesting choruses and things. Whereas at first, it doesn't always hit me. And that was the case with these two songs. Well, if you haven't heard them yet, please do. They're on YouTube. I'm going to start with Come On To Me, which I think is, right now, is my favorite of the two songs. It's a little more of an up-tempo, slightly rocking kind of song. It's got some horns in there for people who like horn sound. Paul is a pretty good in the rocking realm for somebody his age, I think. Although a lot of people are saying the subject matter of wanting to come on to somebody and wanting her to come on to him is kind of creepy for a man in his 70s. But it works as far as I'm concerned. If I'm going to criticize it, I'll just say, you know, it's a pretty good song. It's nothing great. I may have a completely different opinion a year from now when I've played it about, you know, 30 or 40 times. But right now I think it's just pretty good. And it's obviously an earworm. I mean, he's doing that kind of do-do-do-do-do thing, which at first I was criticizing him for. Every song seems to have that in there. You know, the song New, the title song New from his last album called New, also had a do-do-do-do-do in there. Why he has to fall back on the do-do-doos, I don't know. But I will say this, there's no denying that it was catchy. And from the first time I heard it, that was in my mind. And that's what Paul does. He tries to get these sounds that stay in your head, and you find yourself, whether you like the song, whether you don't like the song, whether you think it's really something really profound, or whether you think it's something kind of just silly, it stays in your head. And that's kind of a gift that Paul has. So, yeah, Come On To Me, I really am beginning to enjoy that more and more every time I hear it. If I want to criticize, I'll say that towards the end, it gets a little lazy towards the end, where he just seems to repeat things over and over again. But overall, I'm pretty much enjoying that one. The other one is a slower song. It's a piano type of thing. It starts out with a nice piano sound, really mellow, ballady type of thing. It's called I Don't Know. And at first, it didn't do much for me, but after 2 listens already, and I can't wait for my third, already I'm starting to find it being catchy as far as the melody goes, but also what he's talking about, subject matter, and having his doubts and reservations and things. I really enjoy it. So it's a pretty song, I have to tell you. I Don't Know. The thing about it is, though, I got to say, for those people who are being very much into hearing his voice as an elderly man, and sometimes it kind of gets in the way for them, I do think you can hear the limitations of Paul's voice in the ballad, I Don't Know. Okay, so it's there for everybody to hear his and identify with it, his advancing age. So, okay, so that's the 2 songs, and the album's coming, but also there's news about the Beatles' White Album. Okay, So I want to make that known here. You know, there's been speculation for the longest time now. Is the White Album really coming out as far as a deluxe big set, just like Sgt. Pepper was in 2017? Well, I think there's no more doubt in our mind as to whether or not this is going to be a reality. I think we know now it's a reality. It is going to happen because Paul gave an interview to the BBC, I believe it was. And in the interview, they talked about numerous things, but one subject that came up was the White Album, and Paul did confirm pretty much that there's going to be a 50th anniversary White Album deluxe set coming out, and he even alluded to some demos that are going to be included in there. For a lot of us here who know the stuff he's probably talking about, but it's probably what's known as the Escher demos. You know, these are demos that were recorded for the songs on the White Album that a lot of people have from bootlegs, a lot of diehard collectors, and these were done at George Harrison's home there. The early stages of songs that would eventually be developed for the White Album, and there were even some songs there on those demos that did not make the White Album. So this is very exciting. We're going to be getting, we have the 2 new songs from Paul. We have an album from Paul to follow in September, and then a White Album deluxe set. There's no release date yet, but I'm betting it's going to be November-ish because that's the anniversary of the White Album. So it's a good time for Beatles-related product, everybody. Let's have a good time. Do, 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 do.